Maravich Assembly Center. It's number 17 Kentucky trying to stay perfect in conference play, taking on the upset-minded Tigers of LSU. It's the SEC opener for Will Wade's Tigers tonight. And with that, we welcome you courtside. Tom Hart alongside John Sunvold. Already a topsy-turvy start in league play. Alabama was upset on the road at Vanderbilt. Florida got a road win at Texas A&M, and with the schedule upcoming for Kentucky, they'd love to put a road victory in the bank.
It is a great league. It's going to be a great league, and Kentucky comes in here to a packed house. LSU's ready to go. They've had about 5 days off, and Will Wade said, if we're going to be ready, we should be ready tonight.
Well, they've been ready with one of the most versatile guards you'll see in college basketball. Tremont Waters is just a freshman. He can do everything for LSU.
I'm not sure most of the country has heard of this kid, but take a look at the numbers. When you go first in assists in this league and steals and fifth in points, but look at the shooting percentage. I watched him today in practice, watched him in warm-ups. He's got a great stroke. He's confident. He's quick. He's great with the ball. Will Wade says a lot of times we just give it to him, kind of give him a high screen, let him do his thing.
Well, most of the league was playing an SEC game. LSU was at Memphis this week, held on for a 71-61 victory thanks to fantastic defense in the second half. They hit 13 threes in that game. Kentucky coming off of a win against Georgia by 5, a come-from-behind victory. Great defense down the stretch for the Cats. It's an all-color game. LSU in the home gold and Kentucky in the road blue. The youngest team in college basketball, the Kentucky Wildcats, 11-2 on the season. And this young team, it's playing its very first true road game.
LSU man-to-man defensively will stay in it quite a bit. They will show some zone now and then. They must rebound. Kentucky, an outstanding team inside around the rim.
Double inside and an extra pass and off the window and in for Hamidou Diallo. It's his first bucket coming off of a double-double, 10-10 against Georgia.
Quade Green's got to contain Waters. Waters awfully good with the ball. He'll have help off the screens.
Early touch with Wap Reith, trying to work inside with the left. And a foul on LSU and Aaron Epps. Not much depth on the inside for Will Wade's Tigers. Epps and Reith go 6'10 and 6'11 as you see the starters for Kentucky. Nick Richards only played 3 minutes the other day against Georgia after early foul trouble. He's hoping to stay in there a little bit longer tonight.
Coach Cal worked this morning on ball movement without a lot of dribbles. Make LSU guard. They especially want to get Waters in a lot of screens, make him defend, wear himself out on the defensive end.
There's Quade Green, the freshman from Philly, coming off of a 15-point performance against the Dogs. Waters got in the air. He's got sensational range. Reith again. He's 0 for 2. Knox will try to lead the break. That is off of Diallo and back to LSU.
Quade Green and Waters have played against each other since the 7th grade. And when they asked Green about what he thought of Waters, he said he's a lion just like I am.
There's a lion too. John Calipari in his 9th season as a head man in the Bluegrass has had some great success against LSU. They've won 5 of the last 6 against the Tigers. Lone loss coming here to Ben Simmons' squad a couple of years ago. Waters off balance 3. And Knox on the glass.
Never got his right shoulder squared up. A little bit of a fade is fine, but he just didn't get the shoulder squared. Challenged by Green defensively.
Waters got his hand on that one. Diallo hit the floor for it. And after Waters crossed the sideline, it will stay with Kentucky.
Will Wade wants his team early defensively to get this crowd involved. They're on their seats. He needs them up. He needs them loud, and they can do it on the defensive end.
Second youngest head coach in Division I. Kentucky already beat the youngest, so is David Padgett in Louisville last week. Here's Knox for 3.
2-3 zone, too easy. You can't let Knox stand to get his feet set. He is solid from the outside, over 30% from the 3. Confident start by this Wildcat team.
Yeah, they're up a touchdown here early. Skylar Mays floater. Reith finally gets one to go.
Reith this senior season, capable. Good numbers, just under 12 a game. High percentage inside. He's going to have to be a beast, especially on the defensive end. They're going to have to rebound with this Kentucky squad.
Green pulls up. And Waters able to chase one down. He'll lead the break. Darrell Edwards. Great transition defense by Kentucky. Reith, skyhook. Look, runner.
Wow.
He's going old school.
Good face up. Confident.
Knox baseline move, cut off. Richards answers the 4-0 run for LSU.
Good bucket for his confidence. Only played a couple minutes. Last ball game, got in foul trouble. Sat out the rest of the game.
Green couldn't quite get around the high screen, but Waters couldn't knock it down. That'll be a fun matchup to watch.
You know, the key, though, Green, he kept the chase going, Tom. So he got in the shot line of Waters. He forced him to get rid of it quickly.
Read too far for P.J. Washington. Reith getting a little happy. He's hit 3 of 5 from deep. He's dominated the ball thus far, and Kentucky with the turnover. This is a 9-4 lead for Kentucky. They got out front 7-zip, and then DeWop Reith went old school for LSU. Senior from Perth, Australia. Started this move 18 feet out, and he finishes with a splash. Figure out exactly what the strength is of this Kentucky team, but for a long time under John Calipari, it's been all about the lead guards, and maybe it will be again this year with Quade Green. But under Cal, he's had some first-round picks that have been sensational. John Wall took him to the Elite Eight. Brandon Knight to the Final Four in 2011. Then Teague was at it in the national championship year in 2011-2012, and Tyler Ulis was perhaps the best coach on the floor. He took him back to the Final Four in 2015, and you wonder if Quade Green fits that mold, if there is one, of a typical John Calipari lead guard.
You know, the question when you look back and you take a John Wall, for instance, his teammates, DeMarcus Cousins, Patrick Patterson, Eric Bledsoe. I mean, you take different lineups, change the way. Now, I do think John Wall is kind of the stable point of Kentucky guards, or maybe great guards in college basketball. And Quade Green is slowly but surely becoming more confident in running this team, an extremely young team. 5 freshmen start, freshmen come in off the bench.
Including Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, who's been their best player as of late. Back-to-back 20-point games, both off the bench, and he is glued to Waters. So a runner for May, no, Reith off the glass, and it's rebounded by Washington.
I think May's shot was a pass. I think he tried to put a lob.
I'm going to do Diallo with an offensive foul. It's his first, and John Calipari will drop his head and walk back towards the bench.
Get back defensively in number 0. It's good to see him back. Brandon Sampson out this season with an injury. Had some good minutes against Memphis. Back in the lineup, coming in off the bench, but he'll be a starter, I think, sooner than later. Good dribble.
Tried to shovel it to Reith, who's on the floor for it. Knox comes out of there with it. Numbers for Kentucky. Diallo, no. And the follow by P.J. Washington.
Long missed shots and turnovers will kill you against this Kentucky team.
So much so that Will Wade has told his guys that on any corner 3 LSU shoots, they're going to take everybody back. They're not going to crash the glass because Kentucky is so good in the transition. Wade Sims with an offensive board. Extra possession for LSU, trailing by 7.
High screen and roll. Big guys have to be active.
Mays tried to reverse it. Gilgeous-Alexander all the way in, and Reith slapped it against the glass. Mays will finally put it up. Got it! Skylar Mays for 3. It's a 4-point game.
The best shooting team at 51 Over 51% is this LSU Tiger team. They must shoot the ball well. Off to a slow start tonight, only 3 of their first 12.
And a steal from behind gets thwarted by Gilgeous-Alexander. Right place, right time. Gilgeous-Alexander for 2.
Playing with great confidence. Last 2 ball games over 20 points.
Kentucky led this game 7-0. They've had a pair of 7-point leads here early.
They worked on the high screen and roll for about 20 minutes of practice today. Communication, big guy stepping out. Nice finish by Sid.
Sasha Kalea-Jones is off the mark. A lot of long twos attempted by Kentucky.
LSU is a man-to-man, but a soft man-to-man. Will Wade said today it won't be a zone. He doesn't like zone. He'll play it some, but he said we'll be in a soft man. We've got to make Kentucky make jump shots over the top. We must rebound.
Got to spread Kentucky out that time to get it into Sims.
And good pass by Skylar Mays, who started 25 times last year as a freshman, as the lead guard with the ball in his hands. So very confident he has it.
Deep into the bench, Mayan Kerr has entered the game for LSU. Randy Onwuser has entered as well. Kentucky only 1 make in its last 7 possessions. That'll end. Net from the corner for Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, coming off of a 21-point performance against Georgia. Waters for 3. Wow.
I tell you what, that's comfortably deep beyond the 3-point line from the NBA with a hand coming across his face.
Almost reminds you of Malik Monk with the elevation he gets on the jumper.
Yeah, and he's terrific off the bounce at shooting. A lot of guys can catch and shoot. Waters does it off the bounce, and he can beat you going inside.
Green starts to turn the corner, gets stripped. Here comes LSU. Mayan will go to the free throw line. The 6'9" freshman, Mayan Kerr. I don't know if that's the guy they want to have it in the open floor, but it pays off for the Tigers. And here in Baton Rouge, they've closed it to a 2-point game thanks to the do-everything freshman, Tremont Waters, just 5'11", but coming up big early. And it's another All-SEC National Championship. Here are 2 great National Championship coaches. Saban's been in T-Town for 11 years. He's won 4 national titles, trying to tie the Bear. Meanwhile, Cal's been at Kentucky for 9. He's won 83% of his games in 5 conference titles, regular season and tournament championships, 4 times to the Final Four, and 1 national championship. They are both very active during a typical practice. If you're looking for any similarities between Nick Saban and John Calipari, Saban's out there every day with the DBs, and Cal's out there every day with everybody.
You get to see them both work. I've never seen Saban in practice, but I know what Cal does. Cal's very active, very busy, into his guys, because he is always teaching with the age of guys he has. He's not a coach that has the luxury of a junior, senior team in a long time that can come out and get things done in leadership.
I've always thought the biggest challenge in that regard for him is as freshmen start to hit that freshman wall.
Yeah,
they don't have upperclassmen to explain to them what's on the other side of that wall.
Particularly this squad, right?
Sure.
He's always had 1 or 2 guys, the upperclassmen, that can explain a lot of things, the toughness of the road, the crowds, especially what you said when they hit the wall.
Mayan Kerr at the free throw line goes 1 of 2 from the stripe. Remember, this is a Kentucky team that's the youngest team in college basketball, playing their very first true road game. And in the modern age of AAU ball, there are very few road games. I remember Ben Simmons was here at LSU. He never played a true road game in high school. He's at Montverde, and they're playing in neutral sites if they're playing anywhere. They're playing on the national tournament.
And many of these kids change high schools, right? They play 3 or 4 places through high school, and like you said, they travel, play some road games.
Ken Palm has Kentucky as the least experienced, the youngest in all of college basketball, not just this year, but since he started tracking.
Powerful.
Strong move by Sasha Kalea-Jones. So LSU had climbed to within 1. Is that where we expect Kentucky's biggest advantage to be tonight? Inside?
Inside. And again, LSU's not a great rebounding team. They're not all that big and tall. There are a couple players like Reith inside, but they must rebound, and Kentucky's going to pound it if they can. That's why you'll see LSU sit back a little bit defensively, make the Wildcats take a jump shot. Can't allow that.
Gilgeous-Alexander has 5.
The one thing Gilgeous-Alexander does better than most is he maintains his dribble, maintains the bounce, doesn't pick it up, executes it, continues it, finishes at the rim.
White Green all over Skylar Mays. He'll extend his defense. Help out there from Kalea-Jones. Mays never got rid of it, and he left it short. And they got his hand in there to steal it away. A 3-ball.
Opportunity missed.
I think Calipari
local product
is pleased the way they defended that ball screen, wanting his bigs to go out there and show a little bit.
Yeah, no, I think they've done a nice job. They have stretched anytime they've used a high pick and roll. The point guard for LSU has to stretch it out across the floor. So far, the bigs have done what they're supposed to do for the Wildcats.
Shot clock winding down. Gilgeous-Alexander again. He's been a great bright spot in this young Kentucky team over the last couple of games.
And how quickly the Wildcats get back defensively. Nothing easy for this Tiger squad.
Reith again for 3. His first make from behind the arc, and LSU back within a possession.
Now there's one thing, Tom, if you sit back defensively, that's okay, but you still have to have active hands. They can't allow Kentucky to catch and look around and just run their offense.
Mays taking himself again. Nobody picked him up, and Reith there to crash the glass.
Mays looks a little winded. Didn't finish the play. Teammate saved it.
Gilgeous-Alexander slipped on the floor. Grabbed at his leg, but looks fine, and LSU back into it. We're now tied.
You know, when Reith pops out, obviously he's only taken 5 attempts all year. But the fact is he's active. He's looking for shots, and he wants to be a presence. All 6'11", 250 pounds of it.
Reith already with 9 of LSU's 18. Reith and Mays have dominated the ball on the offensive end for LSU, not always in a positive manner.
Interesting matchup now with Gilgeous-Alexander on Waters. Waters exploding. Wow.
Speed. He's got 5. First lead of the game for LSU.
Sometimes the big man is not quick enough to stretch it out all the way. Waters is explosive to the hole or on his jump shot.
Same matchup, other side. Gilgeous-Alexander off the mark. Knox.
Good follow by Knox, but lack of blocking out by Brandon Sampson. He got caught as a spectator.
Mays, another shot.
He is getting the ball to the rim. That finished.
Mays has already had 7 attempts in this one. LSU looking for its first lead. Epps for 3.
And the Wildcats are getting, mid-range jump shots, some long jump shots, but really nothing around the rim. Good bucket by Knox.
Kevin Knox has 7. Kentucky shooting 50% from the floor.
Here's the matchup zone the Wildcats have used more and more, and they are long, and they've got to get to Waters early. Woo.
This league is loaded with great guard play. I'm not sure that he's not the best. Washington got out of the triple, found Knox for 3. There's an answer. And Kevin Knox in double figures already.
And Kentucky fans happy to see the confidence that Knox is having shooting the ball.
He came in a slump and made just 1 of his last 7 threes over the last 2 games. Swap Reith with the left-hand hook.
There has yet to be a double team on Reith down low, so he has patiently taken his time and finished.
Waters with the steal. Dumps it off. Epps floater.
This LSU, a different team than a year ago. They play hard defensively, communicate well with each other, share the basketball, shoot it at a high percentage.
Another long 2. Richards that time was off. Waters tried to thread the needle. It ends up in the hands of Diallo. And he stepped on the inline. Well, the building's alive in a big way thanks to little Tremont Waters, a freshman from New Haven, Connecticut. He originally signed with Georgetown. John Thompson III was let go, and Waters ended up on the Bayou. What a big get for Will Wade. First the triple, and then the assist. And the Tigers have a 2-point lead. Well, LSU's heated up on offense. They now have a 27-25 lead on number 17 Kentucky. First conference game for LSU headman Will Wade. He's gotten great production for Wap Reith.
Sometimes you're not sure what to expect out of different players when they come into a game like this one. Kentucky comes to town. Wap Reith has really been the focal point of the offensive end. 11 points, 5 rebounds, comfortable with no double team. He's been patient enough to get his shot and finish the plays when he has a chance to.
He's a 12-point-a-game scorer. He's already at 11. So if you're John Calipari, do you feel like you have to double him, or are you okay with Wap Reith as of now? And I guess what I'm asking you is, can he continue this production the rest of the way?
I think if you're Calipari, you see if Wap Reith can beat you. Right?
Sure.
You are challenging your guys defensively, not allow him to back you down so deep that he just has to shoot a hook. If he has a 12-foot hook shot, that's one thing, some face up here or there. If they double team him, that allows other guys more openings.
And this is a very good LSU shooting team, as you mentioned, leading the league at a 52% clip. And 4th in the country at 60% from 2.
And it really, Tom, it's the way they win games. They shoot the ball extremely well. They've been in a lot of close ball games.
Washington with a full head of steam. Follows those all missed, but they'll say it was on the cylinder. Meanwhile, on the other side, they went into Reith, and Wenyon Gabriel had active hands to knock it away in that last possession.
Good look at P.J. Washington, another guy that they're sitting on the rim. Pretty easy call through the official. Another guy they're looking at for more consistency. He's had some big games, but he's been up and down.
John Calipari was on P.J. today when they were shooting their free throws. He was red hot coming in and made 20 of 22 before that Georgia game. LSU's finding a way to the rim. That's Wade Sims.
Tom, often what happens when you have a guy like Tremont Waters out front, all eyes defensively sometimes get lost on him. You forget about the other guys. That was too easy of a dribble, drive, finish. No defenders in Sims' way, and he just laid it in. Take a look at all the eyes are on Waters. Boom, there's a pass. easy pass across the court, dribbles in and lays it in.
Well, I know Tremont Waters is really, really good. I mean, we showed you the stat before. He's leading the league in assists. He's 5th in the league in scoring. He's leading the league in steals, and he plays 32 minutes a game. But with the depth that Kentucky has at guard between Gilgeous-Alexander, Green, and Diallo, can they not guard him one-on-one?
Yeah, I think they can, but I think it's a challenge.
Sure.
I think Waters is so good with the ball. You'll see the pretty good call. Got to move your feet. If he slides that right leg over there, you might get the call. Waters is so good with the ball, Tom, and so shifty. Besides that, he shoots it so well. He's got the double weapon.
LSU sitting in the zone here.
Nice pass.
And Kentucky beat it by getting to the baseline, but P.J. Washington couldn't put it home.
Edwards, a spot-up three kind of shooter. Nice move.
Knox rips it down. Cats trail by 4. And there's a foul on Darrell Edwards on the reach-in. Pardon me, it's on Sims, not Edwards. 4-point game, 3:47 to go in the first half of the PMAC.
I tried to slide you over here to get it. I tried to slide you. I just said, hey, move over here.
I'm just going to go get popcorn next time. If you want any.
Put some butter on mine.
By the way, this has been a very one-sided rivalry throughout the years. In fact, LSU won the first 19. Antoine knows all about it. Back in '96, Kentucky scored 86 in the first half. Antoine had 28 of his 32 in the first 20 minutes of a blowout. Wade Green, pardon me, Brandon Sampson with the foul for LSU. That's his first.
Antoine had how many?
He had 28 in the first half. Kentucky won that game in '96, 129 to 97.
In one half, he had what some kids get in a month.
Yes.
Soft man-to-man. They lay off, looking at making them make jump shots. Good one by Green.
So Green's got 4. You know, this new age of basketball, you'd look to the Houston Rockets, you looked at Golden State, right? Everybody wants to shoot threes or get layups and dunks. And what LSU is forcing Kentucky into is mid-range jumpers.
Yeah, mid-range.
Sims couldn't finish the lob, and it's saved on the baseline by Reed. And Reed is able to convert inside. He's already above his season average. He's got a baker's dozen here.
Reed is having him a game. He's staying with it. Strong finish. Sims should have finished that play, but a teammate picked him up.
Washington trying to drive, able to finish in the paint.
It's funny, LSU, even that defensively, they're kind of just soft enough, right? You're just saying, hey, let's see if Kentucky continues to make 4 or 5 footers, 10 or 11 footers. Good help defense.
Waters with the left.
How explosive off the dribble. Gilgeous-Alexander is solid defensively, but at 6'6", it's a challenge to guard a guy as quick as Waters is with his bounce. And he's got to be careful too. Waters very active hands down low on the defensive end.
Reed with the takeaway. LSU works on that every day. Their bigs inside, challenging drivers without fouling. It's the first drill that they worked on in practice today, the shield with the big as a secondary defender outside the arc, but going straight up. Gilgeous-Alexander gambled. Waters trying to make him pay.
And Waters saved a turnover. Came to the ball.
Deep 3 well off the mark. Wade Green from Philly. And that is going to be against LSU and Wade Sims, his second with 1:18 to go in the half.
And what did Will Wade tell us today was the fact that long jump shot, even though that had to be taken at the shot clock, leads to quick breaks by this Kentucky team. And if we do that, we're going to get burned getting back defensively. And Wade Green smart enough to continue the dribble, make make a big man move his feet and get his body in front of you. Most big guys, honestly, cannot stay in front of a guy like Quade Green or a guy like Tremont Waters.
The advanced stats were very specific from Will Wade today. Kentucky scores 1.7 points per possession when in transition after a missed opponent's corner three. Green in the paint. He's got a half dozen.
Kentucky's been better with Green defensively on Waters. When he's gone out of the game, they've struggled with the penetration that Tremont has been able to go.
It had been both Green and Gilgeous-Alexander sharing time on LSU's point guard. Epps again, and he hits one. His first three.
Epps was here 2 hours before the game, and all he did was shoot three-pointers. He's got a solid stroke, not a great shooter, but a solid stroke and confident that he can make the three.
Will Wade uses a timeout here with 46 seconds left on the clock.
Watch the ball fake, get the defender up, set your feet, good release.
Referencing the 1.7 points per possession on opponents' corner threes and why that's important to LSU, it's because they like to shoot the corner three.
Yes.
So it sounds a very specific stat. You go, how often does that happen? Well, plenty if you're LSU.
You know, the great thing about talking to Coach Wade today was that when he said, we've had time, right, to prepare for what we want to do. No surprises tonight. Teams are teams at this point of the season. Now he said it's more of a mental thing. Can our guys handle the largeness of this game, what it means? Here comes Kentucky. Can my guys handle it? And he said, you know what? We've had time to prepare. No surprises. Let's just execute.
And it's been a busy schedule for Kentucky. Will Wade, by the way, worked his way from the ground up. He was a student manager for 4 years for Larry Shyatt at Clemson before being a graduate assistant and his director of ops. His first coaching job was with Tommy Amaker at Harvard as an assistant. Came here after stints at both Chattanooga and VCU as the head man. Quade Green, got a wraparound pass taken away by LSU. And a travel on the Tigers will give it back to Kentucky with Dwop Reith rolling across the floor.
Good hustle, maybe trying to call timeout. Really didn't have possession to call it. You know what, I've always thought if you're a home coach, that there's a couple things that are okay that happen. And what just happened, that a ref makes a call, it gets the crowd going.
Sure.
Right? You're okay. He traveled, dove on the ground, tried to get a timeout, really didn't have possession of it to call timeout. But the crowd, they don't like a call, they get involved.
Shot clock is off. Gilgeous-Alexander will hold.
Now watch and see if he maintains his dribble a long time, try to get it to the rim. Threw it away.
Another Kentucky turnover, their 11th.
Kentucky now has to be solid because Waters going to come at him. There's going to be a high screen.
He's got tremendous range. Waters will pull from the logo. Follow tip. And that's how the half will end. LSU with a 36-31 lead, fighting back from a 7-0 deficit. Will Wade is out on the floor for his guys. Reith and Waters combined for 23 of LSU's 36, giving Kentucky all they can handle here early on. Let's get you to the studio. Here's P-Dub with the guys.
Thank you, Tom Hart. My goodness, is that a loud All right, hello, friends and family of SEC Network. Checking in, 36-31 LSU over the Wildcats. We are experiencing little audio difficulties right now. Antoine, did you do this on purpose? I know we're going to try to get this to Tom Hart and John Sunville, but with the LSU Tigers up 5 at half, we're going to try to get you back down once they get it figured out. But I kind of figured this was all you're doing. You wanted to call and talk to Coach Cal right before going into the second half.
Yeah, I wanted to give him a prep talk. Give him a little prep talk to get their energy and effort up. I mean, they got to be able to match LSU's energy and effort. Right now, they're getting outworked, not playing great defense, giving up, the drives to the basket, giving up the three-point shot. They got to figure it out. They got to take one of these things away. This took too good of an LSU offensive team to give them both. Yeah,
we're going to get back down to the PMAC. I guess the crowd is kind of so loud down there right here, Jimmy Dykes. We're having a little bit of sound issues, so as soon as we get that figured out, we'll be down there. But give us a little look, and we'll try to go kind of full screen here so you don't have to see us too much. But what are you seeing in this game that's something that LSU is doing differently for Kentucky right now?
Well, what LSU has is they're 5 guys. I'm talking about Reith and Epps. They're big guys. They can both make threes, and they have both made threes in this game. So what they're doing, they're spreading that floor completely out, like with wide pick and roll, spread pick and roll action. Therefore, Kentucky's bigs have to come away from the rim, and now you have no shot blocker, and that's why Waters has been able to get in and finish tonight. So
the big question here, too, is when do teams start to believe that they can beat Kentucky? Because Kentucky is a team that they're going to continue to be in this one, right, Antoine? I mean, they're going to be – this is not a game that I think that Will Wade went into halftime and said, hey, listen, I feel great about it. When do you start to believe that this could happen?
I think at the half, when you got a 5-point lead, you're playing good, you actually have offensive execution. I think they got to feel real good about themselves going into to halftime. And they're at home and playing in front of a sellout crowd. So you start to feel it, and you want to do well for your crowd because you play so many games sometimes with that building empty. So you get an opportunity to fill it up. You want to make sure you play well and come up with a big win.
Again, audio difficulties down at the Pete Maravich Assembly Center. We're going to get you back down to Tom Hart and John Sunville momentarily. But right now, you got drop Reith, and the LSU Tigers getting it done.
Well, there's another example of a spread pick and roll, and this time Reith, and when he sees the ball going to the rim, he makes a rim run and gets an easy 2. Kentucky can't guard right now in this game. Waters is doing anything he wants off the bounce. They're spreading the floor with shooters around him like a pro action with a spread pick and roll, and Kentucky has their hands full. Will Wade has infused this team with confidence from day one. I'm not so sure it wasn't at the pregame meal they didn't feel like they could win this game. They've beaten Michigan. They've had good wins now.
But the question is can they stick with Kentucky?
Sure.
Because, coming out at the half, Antoine, you talked about it, Kentucky looking to be a little bit more of the aggressor coming up in this second half. We've already seen that in a couple of the first possessions for the Wildcats.
Yeah, obviously, with Kentucky, they're going to have to try to figure out a way to defend. You see this drive right here again. They get into the basket, but now the length comes apart and gets a block shot. But they got to start defending. They're getting taken off the dribble too easy for my liking if they have a chance to win this game.
Quality Green is quick. The kid just took the ball from him quicker.
No doubt. 40-36 right now. Again, technical difficulties down in Baton Rouge. So, again, we're trying to work on that. We will get you back down to Baton Rouge and get you to Tom Hart on the call momentarily. But Wildcats trying to chip away for a 4-point lead against LSU. And this is, again, something to see over the last couple of years. And finally, we'll see some free throws, because that's really what you had circled in the box score, Antoine, that you were shocked with the Wildcats in this first half.
Yeah, with their length and size, they got to find a way to get to the basket. You got to balance it out, especially for Kentucky, who's still trying to figure it out on the offensive end, and whether or not how many threes they're going to take, how efficient they're going to be from the three-point line. And they struggled early in the season with that. So the way you offset that is getting to the free throw line and give yourself some easy opportunity. Have 0 first half fast break points. I talked to you, Jimmy, about that, about both teams are not getting out in transition, that's a good thing for both coaches, but you got to get some easy opportunities, and Kentucky's yet to do that.
Yeah, neither team fouled in the first half. I mean, LSU had 6 fouls, Kentucky only had 2. The only reason why Kentucky's at the free throw line now is LSU lost their defensive discipline and fouled a horrible shot. It was a jump hook from the SEC logo. That's how Kentucky gets to the free throw line for the first time.
As we see,
that was a great box out by LSU.
40-36. We're having fun. We did this for the SEC bowl games and SEC goal line where we had 2 screens. Of course, we did that one on purpose. This one, we're having some fun as well on it.
Tom Hart is irritated because he gets paid by the word.
Oh, I know. That's the worst case.
Money right now as that clock ticks away.
You were asking about Tremont Waters. Again, one of the reasons why LSU feels different. This young man had an opportunity to go to Georgetown, and then he decided, hey, I was going to go down to LSU. Will Wade, and it's such a difference in the style of basketball and really, more importantly, the energy that LSU has shown, not only from what we've seen on the court, but really from the fans as well, too. Antoine, Will Wade trying to get this LSU Tigers basketball squad back to where it's seen in its glory days.
Yeah, and a lot of the guys that won the team last year didn't bring a lot of energy. We saw this, and sometimes it's so frustrating because they had talent at last year. LSU had a lot of talent, but it seems like Will Wade is now bringing it out of them, now getting that energy and effort that you need. And I think that's why that building sold out tonight. I think people are starting to buy into his energy and effort and see that the kids are playing much harder than they played last year. And that's not deterring to the team from last year, but they playing with a lot of energy and effort. It was brutal last year watching some of LSU games because they didn't give them the effort that was needed on a night-in, night-out basis.
Truthfully, it was brutal to watch a lot of SEC basketball. And I think that's why this league has taken the step forward to it used to be Kentucky and everyone else. And that's a credit to what Cal has built. And that's a credit to Big Blue Nation that's tuned in right now. Unbelievable play that.
Kentucky can't guard him. They're taking the ball from side to side through a hammer pass, bad closeout, drove the ball to the middle. Tremont Waters, a little kid for LSU number 3, the freshman point guard, who I love. He thinks he should be at Kentucky. He has that type of confidence and moxie about him that he feels like he has something to prove in this game, but he's staying very composed and not trying to make it a one-on-one contest.
Big play right there, and one for Gilgeous-Alexander, exactly what you were talking about.
Yeah, getting to the basket, but Alexander's starting to show us now, coming off that bench, he's embracing that role, having 2 back-to-back 20-point games, and even today he's come out very aggressive coming off the bench, and just how he's just trying to pump up the team right now, just at the free throw line. He's starting to take this team under his control. That's kind of special about this guy.
Who was going to be the leader? Jimmy, you talked about he's going to be the open guy, but in the years past for Big Blue Nation and Coach Cal's team, it was either De'Aaron Fox or Malik Monk. You had those 2 scorers. Right now, I think Cal's trying to figure out who that guy is.
Well, in the last 2 games, it has been Gilgeous-Alexander. He's been his best player in practice. Calipari has really challenged his guys to kind of free yourself up and play with the
free
joy.
Your mind and the rest would follow. I didn't know you to be an in vogue.
I'm so what you don't know that I am. Now Tom Hart starts to get paid again from what I hear.
You know what? All right, well, fine. I say one thing about in vogue, and now you don't want to talk about it anymore. All right,
it's better than Pitbull.
What a block that was right now. That's right. Pitbull, you celebrated his entire catalog, right? LSU 42-39, big steal for the Wildcats.
There you go. There's
momentum changing.
There you go right there. The last 2 plays is what Kentucky has to do if they want to have a chance to win this game. One, get out in transition, that play right there, and then out in the half court, get fouled, get to the foul line.
All right, 42-41. Again, we're going to be working on the audio. We'll get that back down to Tom Hart momentarily, but right now we're having some fun. LSU 42-41. They were 5 of 11 in the first half behind the arc, Antoine, something that they're trying to get a little bit better at LSU. And here's another 3-pointer. Off the rim.
Kentucky went zone. It's a big zone, and that big zone can bother number 3 from LSU because he's only about 5'9".
Much more of aggressive. You could just see the style of basketball between fast break. They're looking like they're trying to work with the tempo, Jimmy.
Well, that is Kentucky this year. They're a good offensive team, and they got a chance to be a really good offensive team. But they could be great defensively, guys, because of their length, their size, and their depth. And their defense over the last 90 seconds has triggered this little mini run.
That is a 7-0 run in the last 1 minute and 27 seconds. It leads us to the first media timeout. We'll get you back down to Baton Rouge after this commercial break.
Back to the PMAC. Number 17, Kentucky leads LSU 43-42. Took us a while to close our tabs at walk-ons, but now we're back courtside with you here in the second half. Tom Hart alongside John Sunbold. We're seeing 2 very evenly matched teams, and I don't know that we would have said that at the beginning of the year when Kentucky was picked to finish first in this league and LSU was picked to finish last.
You know, the interesting part about the game and the pace, especially now in the second half, we have one coach, Cal, quite upset about rebounding. The other side now, Will Wade is extremely upset because they've given up 3 layups in a half-court set defense and now the free throw line. So they, you know what, LSU's got to get back defensively. Kentucky's attacking them, but an evenly matched game. We'll see which team can make some shots coming down the stretch.
Kevin Knox has 12 points on 5 of 6 shooting, including a couple of threes to help lead this Kentucky team. And how about the defense on Tremont Waters in the second half? He has yet to score in this half, even though he's still making an impact on the game.
You know, the thing about Tremont is the fact there are times he tries to get everybody involved, but he has been surrounded by these Wildcats in the second half. He's got to continue to put pressure on them defensively, because if it's 1, 2, or 3 cats that surround him, other Tigers will get open for shots.
Quade Green, the freshman out of Newman Goretti in Philly, at the free throw line. They've produced some pretty good guards back in the day. Scoop Jardine, who played for Jim Boeheim at Syracuse. Quade was a McDonald's All-American coming out of Philly, and Wenyen Gabriel's in on the glass to take one away. Second half, Kentucky shooting 5 of 7 for 71%. LSU just 3 for 11. And the Tigers have missed 6 of their last 7. Blocked by Reith, but they get him for the foul. That's his second, both occurring since the half.
And Kentucky much more physical and attacking the rim. The message obviously at halftime was we've got to use what we do best, our size, our length, attack, keep going.
P.J. Washington, the freshman out of Findlay Prep.
And remember the concern of Will Wade this morning. We have to make Kentucky take shots over the top of us, right? Jump shots, mid-range, longer shots, not around the rim. Second half, Kentucky is taking it to the rim, and LSU hasn't put up a good enough force.
He was also very concerned with Kentucky's length. P.J. Washington has a 7'3" wingspan. That's about average for these bigs for Kentucky. So much so that when they worked against the scout team today, the scout team for LSU was holding sticks and long pads to simulate that Kentucky length. The gamble turns into numbers for the Tigers, and Mays takes it all the way in.
You know, Mays has played a game that he's attacked, just has not been able to make shots, so maybe that one gets him going.
Looking for Knox down low. Here comes a double, and he's able to find Washington for the high percentage look.
Lack of rotation. They double teamed, and either Sims got caught not rotating down or someone from the weak side. Good find by Kevin Knox.
Reith, nice look. Sims inside. Knox with a hesitation, and he walked with it. LSU has an opportunity to reclaim the lead.
It has been inside. Here's the double team, and look at the head get caught watching the basketball. So now LSU goes down, no double team. P.J. Washington got caught staring at the basketball. His man made a cut, easy layup.
Dwop Reith hasn't been doubled this entire game. He has 17 points to lead LSU. Here he is with a touch, guarded by Gabriel. No balance on the post. And it gets bailed out by a reach-in from Wenyen Gabriel.
And Gabriel is 205 pounds. He's awfully light inside for the big to handle Reith. He can handle him by his length, but not the size of the body.
It's about a 40-pound size advantage for Dwop Reith on Wenyen Gabriel. Waters going against 2 cats, and he'll go to the free throw line. Gabriel picks up his second immediately. And Tremont Waters, a freshman from New Haven, Connecticut, has a chance to give LSU the lead.
And quick thought about that. As Waters turns a corner, Reith up top is going to set a screen, but his guy left. So when his guy goes and helps, if he goes right to the rim, now Waters got fouled, he'll have an easy either putback or a lob dunk.
Tremont Waters, coming out of high school, is recruited by Kentucky, Duke, Kansas. Signed with John Thompson III in Georgetown. When JT3 was fired, he reopened his recruitment. Ended up in LSU thanks in large part to his one recruiting trip. Fried alligator and boudin balls. That'll win anybody over.
That's a good squad of schools to get letters from.
I would think so.
When you open up that mail.
4 ties, 7 lead changes. Another lead change inside. Kevin Knox going to work.
Kentucky running some good stuff on the offensive end to continue to pound that ball inside.
Baseline. Shares it for Epps. Got it. LSU back in front.
Tell you what, and it's a battle of big guys, right? We thought it'd be the guards, but inside, it's now becoming who can stop each other in the paint.
Knocks in the elbow, high-low, and a slam for Washington. That last bucket, by the way, for LSU was the first mid-range field goal they had. Every other point either came from behind the arc or inside the paint.
And think of where Kentucky's scoring there. All in the rim.
First half, it was a lot of mid-range jumpers for the Cats. Gabriel, transition 3. Yes, sir! Wenyen Gabriel with his first bucket extends Kentucky's lead to 4.
Cats better on defense, not turning the ball over on the offensive end. They had 11 turnovers in that first half against a soft LSU defense.
You surprised this place isn't a little bit louder tonight?
Well, I was surprised they had the lead at halftime. They weren't loud going into the half. Maybe if they make a run, this place will open up.
Reed getting close to his career high. He's got 19 now.
Matchup 2-3 zone.
Again, a one-hand slam by P.J. Washington.
Woo. Boy, it's powerful.
Kentucky's made each of their last 7 field goal attempts. High percentage looks.
And the next time out, Will Wade is going to have to adjust the defense. Kentucky just laying it in and dunks everything at the rim.
P.J. Washington with the foul, his first personal. Meanwhile, Hurley looks inside.
Anytime you're against a zone, if you attack, LSU has stepped up, but no communication. Whether it's man-to-man or against a zone, Cats on a roll.
Welcome back to the P. Maravich Assembly Center. Number 17, Kentucky red hot in the second half, shooting 83% from the floor. Take a 4-point lead on LSU. Saturday at 9 Eastern, it's another test for this Kentucky team. Thompson Bowling Arena will be sold out on the campus of the University of Tennessee. It's a top 25 matchup, and the Cats have lost each of their last 2 trips to Knox Vegas. It's Saturday at 9 Eastern, right here on the SEC Network and streaming live on the ESPN app. Let's take a look at today's Good Hands play, brought to you by Allstate. Kentucky able to get into the paint and get some looks for P.J. Washington.
What man-to-man defensive coaches like Will Wade, the reason they don't like zone and they teach man is when you go to a zone, sometimes the players let up their man-to-man principles. They don't move their feet, they don't slide. They've gone to the zone a couple times this second half, and Kentucky's been able to go right through them, right to the paint, and lay it in or dunk it.
There was some thought that LSU would show some 1-3-1 tonight, and it was something that Kentucky did a lot of work on over the course of the shoot-around. We haven't seen that yet.
Yeah, Will Wade told us it really just for sometimes resting purposes. He said we're not very good at the 1-3-1, but we'll show it once or twice.
Tremont Waters, guarded by Gilgeous-Alexander. Shot clock at 6. Epps from the elbow.
Much more active and much more active defensively the second half for this Kentucky team.
And on the other side, a big block or 2. And Breath comes out of there with it. On that rebound previously, Kevin Knox claimed his second career double-double. Waters steps through. And we're going to reach in on Gilgeous-Alexander. Pardon me, it's on P.J. Washington. Sixth team foul on Kentucky. So Tremont Waters will go to the free throw line. 79% free throw shooter.
And he's hobbled a bit when he went over the end line. I think he tripped on the camera down there. He hasn't had many easy buckets tonight. He's earned them, and it's been tougher this second half.
From New Haven, Connecticut, it's a 21-hour drive away from Baton Rouge. 14 points for the freshman Waters.
Now can LSU keep Kentucky out of the paint? Back to the man-to-man.
Gilgeous-Alexander for two.
The length of a big guard over a smaller guard. Gilgeous-Alexander at 6'6". Again, can maintain and keep his dribble to the paint. It's an easy shot over the smaller Water.
Epps walked with it. So Wade Sims will return for LSU, and Aaron Epps, the senior, will take a seat. Talking with Will Wade today about how the guys that were carryovers from the previous regime did a tremendous job of buying into what he wants them to do. And this is an LSU team that works hard. I mean, the shoot around that they had today was harder than any practice that I saw from them over the last few years. And it was day of game.
Then guys have bought in for the hard work, or a guy like Brandon Sampson, who's now turned into more of a patient player. Even though a year ago he had 3 games over 20 points.
Offensive board by Kalea Jones. It will stay this way.
Tom, think of this. Very few opportunities in this half of LSU either getting a rebound or getting a steal and going the other way for an easy chance for a basket. Kentucky very efficient in the second half on the offensive end. And not with jump shots, by attacking the paint.
They've hit on 11 of 16 of their field goal attempts. That includes 2 of 3 from deep. Here's Quade Green. Knox looking inside. Kalea Jones long 2. Another offensive board for the Cats. And Cal says pull it out and run some clock here. Let's find what we can do.
Tough matchup for Sampson inside. Knox a bigger body.
Knox passes over the top of the double. Green. Another offensive board. And Kentucky finally pays it off with Knox inside. 3 tries at it, that time down the floor. Blocked by Gilgeous-Alexander. 3-on-2 break. John Calipari has to be thrilled with his team's effort on the offensive end.
Well, they are attacking, and LSU must, like Sampson. There's a thing about blocking out, and then the second part is you must attack and get the rebound.
Kentucky came into this game 12th in the country in offensive rebound percentage. They rebound 37% of their own misses.
And one of the biggest weakness for LSU is rebound. They played at Memphis. Memphis had 15 offensive rebounds against this Tiger team.
William Gabriel. LSU down 6.
And nowhere to go for Waters. 4 blue jerseys back on defense.
Waters.
Quick.
16 now.
Quick off the bounce. Quick with a release from the bounce.
Sims got fouled by Gabriel, who pulled him across the end line. 3rd on Wenyen Gabriel. LSU down 4, 7:41 to go. The team that was picked last in the SEC, giving all they can against a team that was picked to win it, led by their freshman, Tremont Waters. Kentucky's offense has come alive here in the second half. It's a 4-point lead for the 17th ranked Cats, trying to go to 2-0 in the SEC. Time now to take a look at our defensive spotlight, brought to you by Shelter Insurance. What can't Tremont Waters do? Leading the league in steals, leading the league in assists, 5th in scoring. He is active.
And the first half they had 4 steals. He had a couple. They will need more of this in the second half because Kentucky now very comfortable with what they're doing on the offensive end.
They've had some pretty productive freshmen back in LSU history. Think back to Ben Simmons. How about this comp?
Wow.
Back to Chris Jackson. Now, Chris Jackson had some massive games. He had three 50-point games as a freshman. But he didn't, 4 assists a game is nothing too shabby. But Waters is at 6.5 and 2.5 steals.
Well, what's nice for Waters is that there is a comparison with a guy like Chris Jackson.
Sure.
Jackson was a special player. Phenomenal talent, great pro.
Pretty good company.
And Waters has made his presence known early in Baton Rouge.
Sims too strong. Well, Kentucky started off red hot. They hit 10 of their first 12 attempts. But since then, just 2 of 11.
Had a lot of success with Knox on the move and trying to cut into the lane, posting him up.
Knox waiting in the left wing here. Gilgeous-Alexander gets free.
Another layup. Maintained the dribble, tried to get contact with a bigger guy, spun off him. Good finish.
I know it's not easy, but he makes it look easy.
Yeah, he does. Guards who play at their pace and they're comfortable at their pace make it look differently than a lot of other players.
Kentucky chance to run on the missed corner 3. Knox will pull it back out.
And Gilgeous-Alexander, much like he did against Louisville, much like he did against Georgia, he just takes over the game.
Back-to-back 20-point games for the freshman. First Kentucky freshman to do that off the bench since Darren Fieldhouse did it back in '92 against Tennessee and Arkansas. Knox. Meanwhile, LSU has gone cold from deep. They're 0 for 7 from 3 this half. And that'll be a foul on P.J. Washington, his 3rd. Wade Sims slipped past him.
Good pass, opportunity to finish. Slap on the arm, lost control. The way Kentucky has played, you feel, the crowd makes it feel as though Kentucky's up double digits. 6-point game, 6 minutes to go, 5-point game. Now you know what, LSU needs a run. They need some defensive stops somehow. A couple fast breaks, a couple finishes by Brandon Sampson on the break. Get this crowd to finish this thing.
Sims has 8. Speaking of the crowd, John Calipari said he was looking forward to getting his team on the road. First true road game of the season. I think we've been pretty comfortable at home at Rupp, playing in front of great fans. We kind of settled a little bit. Now you settled into a blowout win against Louisville and a comeback win against Georgia. He'll take it. Said, I don't really care where we play. It's about how we play. You can put 2 hoops up on I-95. We'll go play them there. Might be kind of chilly this time of year.
Hey, the 1-3-1 came out. They set a high screen. They got the shot they wanted quickly out of the corner. A miss.
Only 1 make in the last 5 possessions for Kentucky. I'm curious if Waters can take over late. LSU needs a bucket. Gilgeous-Alexander with the rip. Waters gets it back. Numbers now for LSU. And it's blocked. Washington playing with 3 fouls, got the block, and it turns into a shot clock violation.
It's Skylar Mays as he went to the basket. A good block on defense, but he's got a pass right there to Sampson, probably for an easier finish. Sampson more athletic, but finishing at the rim. Got to make the plays when you have a chance. Terrific defensive play.
Mays has been aggressive hunting his shot today. He's just 2 for 10 from the floor, though. 5.5 to go, 4-point Kentucky lead.
And this is from a player who's pretty patient usually offensively, shoots over 50%.
Gilgeous-Alexander wants the screen. On a green. Diallo. Look who's got the rebound. Little Tremont Waters at 5'11", pushes ahead. Sampson spins it in. It's a 2-point game.
Sampson's game is up and down, being athletic and finishing.
LSU gambled with the reach. Washington pays off with his 13th point.
How about the hesitation dribble by Gilgeous-Alexander? The little hesitation, head fake, explosion. Weak side defender has to come over to help. Drops off the pass. Good finish.
Shot clock's at 5. Sampson will pull from way downtown. Whoa, my goodness, where did that come from?
How do you keep Gilgeous-Alexander out of the paint, off his dribble? They've not been able to do it.
Settles for a 3. Another board for Waters. Waters' third double-double, but his first in a points rebound double-double. Drop Reed after the ball fake, drains the 3. LSU takes the lead.
6'11", 250, little ball fake. Spot up for the 3.
LSU's first three-pointer this half. 3:22 to go. Dwop Reed, the throwback. Here at the PMAC, it's LSU and Kentucky. Close, late. To go in regulation, number 17 Kentucky trailing by a point here at LSU. Perhaps it's a surprise because Kentucky was picked to win the league and LSU was picked dead last in Will Wade's first season. But given what we know of this league early on, I guess you could expect it to be a little bit topsy-turvy. Just last night, Alabama lost on the road to Vandy.
You know what's tough is this league, top to bottom, is so solid. They've predicted 7 or 8 already about the NCAA tournament. Number 2 RPI conference in the country. Each place is going to be tough to win. Can you get road wins? It's going to be difficult. As you mentioned, Auburn gets a huge win. And now all of a sudden, when you're having your home court to protect, can you protect? LSU picked to be the last in this league, playing outstanding against maybe the powerhouse.
Talking to Will Wade before the game today, and he kind of shrugged his shoulders. He said, "This is the year I get an SEC job." I come in now. This league is loaded. First season, second youngest coach in Division I college basketball, just 35 years old. Louisville's David Padgett is the youngest. And Kentucky just beat him 2 games ago.
2-3 zone the last couple possessions. They've gone into it. They've got beat off the dribble. Great steal by Mays.
Skylar Mays steps through. No finish. Numbers the other way. P.J. Washington cherry picking. And it'll be a blocking foul, and they'll count the bucket. Huge swing of events with LSU unable to finish on one side, and Washington never got to the logo. It pays off. He'll have a chance for a 3-point play. P.J. Washington will be at the line when we return after that blocking foul on Brandon Sampson. Swing, number 17 Kentucky with a go-ahead bucket on LSU, 66-65 after the Tigers had this steal, and P.J. Washington pays it off on the other end.
Great concentration after the contact. Head and eyes were still up when he took the bump, long enough to be able to see where he could finish it and protect himself on the landing.
What about the inability on the other end for LSU to finish?
You know, Skylar Mays has had a tough game offensively, and as he took the ball down, Kentucky was getting back. You know what? One more bounce, he gets by the guy and lays it in. He took off from about 8 feet away, and then it became kind of a flip up in the air. Didn't finish the play. That's 2 points lost on one end. Allows the break on the other. 2 points more, maybe a third. It's a 5-point play.
First true road game of the season for Kentucky. P.J. Washington turning it up in the second half. He's been perfect from the floor. Tied for the team lead now is 16. For LSU, Dwop Reed has 22. Do they look to go inside to him here?
I still think you get Waters being aggressive with the basketball, making Kentucky scramble. Sampson's got to be more aggressive offensively, ready to shoot when he catches it.
Waters for three. A little off balance, and it's rebounded by Quade Green. Diallo. That one is halfway home. The freshman Waters has 16 points, 11 boards, and 3 assists tonight. He and Duop-Reith both have a double-double and a double high screen. Epps finds Reith. Humping got him up close, and he jams it home.
Nice set play. Double screen for Waters. You roll Reith down the pipe. Swing it back, put it down. Throw it down.
Washington fouled by Reith.
Wildcats patient again. Pounded inside. Reith gets caught watching the ball, really trying to play like a middle linebacker spot. He slides over. He allows the catch too easily for Washington. Physical, tough finish.
Team high 18 for P.J. Washington. 2 away from his career high. Stolen away by Gabriel on the offensive glass.
Wow, what hustle. The quickness.
Green mismatch. And they'll switch back. Gilgeous-Alexander off the window. It's a 2-score lead for Kentucky.
Burst of speed. Long finish with the right hand.
They're doing a good job staying in front of Waters.
Yes, they are. They're stretching it out. Biggs are staying home, doing a good job. Stretching it.
Throws it home. Anyway, he's got 18, and Will Wade uses a timeout with LSU down a deuce, under a minute to go.
30-second timeout. 30-second timeout.
The key for LSU, could you keep Kentucky away from the rim? And they've not been able to the second half. Terrific finish by Gilgeous-Alexander, and then Waters with the answer. Always off the bounce, the quickness, and how he is able to control the defender by his speed and the ability to get it off the floor from his hand and up to the rim.
Any reason for LSU to show zone here coming out of the timeout?
They could. I say could. They've not had a lot of success. That's not what they're known for. But again, that zone could shore up the fact to try to make Kentucky take a jump shot versus off the bounce. Kentucky's been able to take it off the bounce against the zone also.
And they've been good on the offensive glass. 10 offensive rebounds for Kentucky. You mentioned the big advantage that Memphis had there. And LSU's last time out. Waters picks up Green. Washington's been the go-to guy this second half. He's guarded by Reith at the elbow. Green finds Gabriel. And Sampson reaches in on him with 39 seconds left on the game clock.
Wildcats have been so efficient on the offensive end in this second half. The screen, the roll, terrific pass by Green, an easy pass. Weak side help just late enough because he had to stay home, and that was Sampson had to stay home in the corner. Good foul, though. Put Gabriel on the line. 57% free throw shooter.
Most close it could be as a 3-point lead. LSU from behind the arc has really struggled in the second half, just 1 for 10 from 3.
Skylar Mays comes back in the lineup. Has had a tough night shooting, but could be the guy that gets open on the next offensive possession.
The lead is 3. Waters, Mays, Sampson, the big 3-point threats. Corner 3. Epps can shoot it. Back rimmed it. Follows his own miss and banks it in. Little pinball action. And a timeout taken by Will Wade and LSU again. It's a 1-point game.
Reed kept the ball alive. Epps followed his shot. Didn't like it when it left his hand initially, so he chased it. Reed kept it alive. Quick shot from the corner, and as he comes in, Reed keeps alive. Tough finish.
Sonny, I can already hear what Cal's going to say after the game if his Kentucky team wins this. He's going to say, we always get the other team's best shot. This has been a great test for our young team. No matter what happens, the youngest team in college basketball playing its first true road game, and they've had their hands full tonight. He's learning a lot about his squad here.
Well, he is, and what's interesting from a coaching staff is which guys step up physically, make the plays like they've had P.J. Washington and Kevin Knox inside. The guy off the dribble, Gilgeous-Alexander, has been terrific. They've not responded as well defensively on a couple possessions. But the second half offense, LSU's not been able to stop Kentucky. We'll see what they do with full court pressure.
Curiosity has been who will be the alpha male of this Kentucky team, especially on the offensive end. In the second half, it's been P.J. Washington.
Gabriel, who made 1 of 2 free throws, is on the other end of the floor. Go for a quick steal. Good foul early.
Gilgeous-Alexander. Chased by Mays.
87% free throw shooter. He'll keep the ball in his hands.
And they will finally foul him. It's a first on Skylar Mays. It stops the clock with 16 seconds to go. Kentucky did not shoot a free throw in the first half. The Wildcats are 5-11 from the free throw line in the season half. It will likely be a season low in free throw attempts, bettering the mark of 15 against East Tennessee State.
Calm, cool, collected. Terrific second half from the field, now at the free throw line.
The lead again is 3 thanks to Shai Gilgeous-Alexander as 18.
13 in the second half.
Kentucky uses the timeout here. Once again, John Calipari with this very young team trying to set up an end-of-game defensive situation. With the lead being 3, Tom Hart and John Sunvold courtside here at PMAC. So if you're Will Wade, who do you want to go to? And if you're John Calipari, how would you choose a defense if the lead is 3?
Well, obviously you don't have to foul. It's too early to foul. 16 seconds. And I think Waters comes off the screen. Again, there's some spacing. I would expect Waters to try to be more aggressive, turn the corner, and try to get to where he maybe can kick it out. If not, you finish and you foul again, try to stretch the game out.
LSU loves the corner 3. They haven't hit a ton of them tonight, but we can see just the way they run their offense that that's a high percentage look for.
Epps is a great shooter, good shooter. Sampson can make him. And again, Skylar Mays is the one. He's had a tough night, at 2 for 11. But he is the kind of guy that's been here. This is his second season. I would expect him to find some place to step in and try to make a play on the offensive end.
LSU hit 5-11 from deep in the first half, just 1 for 11 behind the arc in the second. Tremont Waters, a true freshman from New Haven, Connecticut, will have the ball in his hands. He's got a double-double, points and rebounds tonight. 2 of 8 from deep, and he's got sensational range.
We know it will probably be difficult for him to get the 3, right? Kentucky's going to try to cover him up.
John Calipari reminded his guys that shoot around today that he can shoot from the logo.
Good job by Kentucky. Full court pressure. Somewhat token.
They'll have some length on Waters. Gilgeous-Alexander at 6'6". Here we go. 10 to play, down 3. LSU needs the 3 to tie it. Clock at 5.
Taking a long time to get into it.
Leaned in and just barely drew iron. And Kentucky carries it over the inline. 4/10 of a second left. Will Wade not happy with the execution coming out of that situation for his LSU team. So what can you drop? It'll be a baseline out of bounds underneath the LSU basket.
Well, it took a while to get into it. Reith never came up for the screen.
So Will Wade will draw something up here.
Well, there's time to catch and release.
Officiating crew wants to make sure the clock is accurate.
Boy, good defense by Gilgeous-Alexander. Not only was he great on the offensive end the second half, but that right there defensively kept his ground, stayed on his feet.
I wouldn't be surprised if they add a few tenths of a second to this. Maybe go as high as 0.8.
Where does the official blow it?
There's the arm up at on its way up to 0.5. He was on the line at 0.8, and that's what they're going to do, I believe.
So you're up 3. You could put all your defenders around the line, right? You could line them all back up on the back of the at the 3-point line.
Just kind of like an
stand
old
behind
shell
him.
drill. Yeah, put
Stand
your hands
behind
up.
him. I mean, no, I wouldn't play in front. I'd stand behind him.
John Calipari saw the look from LSU. He'll use a timeout to draw it up. I mean, it sounds almost too simple to be good. Why not? Only 8/10
Well, it
of
would
a
look
second
fine,
left.
but you just stand behind them all.
Yeah,
so
challenge
they
was making an around the world shot back in the day.
They'd have to jump. They'd have to run all the way behind to get. Yeah.
Do you have time for a dribble at 0.8, or is this strictly catch and shoot?
Catch and shoot.
So you'd like to get something coming towards the ball, perhaps towards the ball.
Usually it's probably in the corner. Guy in your face flying by. They're not going to foul you. Because once the ball's in play, I mean, they can't afford to even reach. Like I said, I would stand behind them. Quade Green is standing behind Sampson.
Waters is sandwiched at the block. He'll go to the far corner.
Oh, they had it.
Here's the look to tie it. Oh, my goodness, off the rim. And Kentucky goes on the road and survives. The youngest team in college basketball gets all it can handle from a team picked to finish dead last in the league. The Cats now 2-0 in SEC play with a 74-71 final. Cats turn it up in the second half, and LSU was this close to tying it on a look from Sampson with Gilgeous-Alexander in front of him. Catch and shoot, and just off the front of the rim. LSU in the second half makes just 1 of 13 from deep, and that in large part was a difference in the game. Meanwhile, the Cats with great production in the second half from P.J. Washington, who scored 14 of his 18 after the break. Kevin Knox finishes this game with 16, and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander finishes with 13 in the second half and 18 total. John Calipari said, we will go on the road and play on I-95 if we have to, with a couple of buckets spread out on the interstate. And here tonight, in their first true road test, they're able to get the victory at LSU. So the Tiger faithful, with the students still out, able to put together a monster effort, but not enough. John Sumvold standing by with John Calipari.
Your first song, especially second half. You guys changed from the first half.
Well, we were trying to go inside, and we wanted to go with PJ and Kevin Knox around the goal because we were settling, and they were the attack dogs, and they played really well. We had a couple guys with the flu. Hami has the flu. Sasha had the flu. Nick had the flu, so we were trying to figure out how we finished that game.
The attack of the second half, it looked like you really went at the rim, put a lot of pressure on their bigs in the backside.
We didn't in the first half, and it was, we had 2 fouls. I've never heard of that. I mean, it's like we didn't really get after it, but PJ played well. Again, he's starting to lead the team where he's in huddles saying, come on, man, we got to do this. It's got to come from them, not me.
What's it say, though, about your team? You come in here, crowd was great. Down the stretch, made some pretty good plays, both ends.
We're getting that will to win. There was a rebound late. Kevin fell on the floor. You got to bring those in. And that was that. But down this end, I thought we did pretty good, made free throws, did a good job.
Hey, good road win. They're always good, especially to start the league.
Thanks.
Hey, PJ, second half. Obviously, Coach Cal just said they were going to pound it inside. You had a physical presence, especially against a big dude like Reith.
The first half, we were just shooting too many jumpers, I felt like, and we could have banged it inside in first half, so my main focus was to do that the second half, and I felt like me and Kevin did a great job of that. First
true road game, crowd was against you. What were your feelings coming down the stretch, especially like in huddles and timeouts?
It was great. We just had to come together and just keep fighting. I felt like we did that, and it was great to get this one under our belt.
Terrific win. We'll see you this week.
Thank you.
Don't get any easier. All right, thanks, Shenny. Doesn't get any easier for Kentucky. They go on the road to a sold-out Thompson Bowling Arena at Saturday night, 9 Eastern on the SEC Network. 74-71 the final here. The non-flu guys had 52 of Kentucky's 74. Let's all stay healthy out there, folks. Glad you guys back in the studio.